who is humble, a humble background family. Now they are a huge dean of whom we call professors from that family. Get to read the story and you'll get more. Just to give you a brief tonight, BTV is bringing you exclusive story about Kithure Kindiki, how he has moved from one rank to another in terms of political career and in terms of his progress in life. You also have the story here. Please grab a copy to read more extensively. But just to brief you, remember Kithure Kindiki, when he first sat for his Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Education, he scored a C, which did not give him a leeway to move to the university directly. However, he opted to repeat Form 4, repeat the high school, and actually managed to move to higher levels of education. So you can grab that. You can grab the People Daily newspaper and read more extensively on that story. Now moving, Kenyans roundly reject term in Cherargei's bill. Now nearly universal opposition to the proposal, especially clauses relating to the extension of term for elected leaders. A story by Mercy Mwai. A story by Mercy Mwai states that 99% of the submission received expressed strong opposition to the bill that seeks to extend the presidential term limit, especially the clause relating to the extension. The bill was rejected in totality. The bill also was seeking to alter the establishment and also give the president opportunity to appoint the prime minister. Now that bill is rejected in totality. Now a record of 168,801 Kenyans have opposed the proposal to increase the term for the leaders to 7 years. A report of the Senate Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights that recommended the bill rejected says the response by the stakeholders and members of the public were overwhelmingly in opposition. We wonder whether the Cherargei's bill will see the light of the day, as it has been rejected by many. Now, legislators raise concern over parastatal land ownership. A story by Mercy Mwai on page 4. Now, lawmakers have raised concerns state corporations not only lack crucial ownership document for some of the land, but have also failed to constitute various board to oversee various operations of the entities. Now you can also grab a copy and read more extensively, as the story seeks to unveil the truth that most of these state corporations do not have full ownership, and they have failed to constitute board of directors to oversee the management and the running of these state corporations. Please grab a copy and read a story by Mercy Mwai in page 4. Also, we see Kenya and Algeria moot plans to improve trade and bilateral relations. A story by George Kibaso in page 4. Grab a copy and read. On page 5, we see Safaricom celebrating 24 years of connection in Kenya. Grab that to read. Also, moving into page 6, IMF wants strike on taxes, revenue collection balanced. Now, Bretton Woods institution warns that reducing budget for the development could harm the project. A story by Anthony Mwangi. Now, International Monetary Fund, IMF, wants the country to strike a balance between introducing new taxes to raise revenue while at the same time managing debt levels. Now, that is what we have for the Kenyans. Now, the fund noted that that introduction of the new taxes was likely to cause the uprising as witnessed in June this year, where youths staged a nationwide protest over proposed tax measures in the Finance Bill 2024. Grab a copy and read more extensively on that. And also we see secondary school teachers convened amid junior secondary school debate. Now, story by Ruben Mwambingu on the same page 5. The 21st Kenya Primary School Heads Association capture annual conference begin today at Sheikh Zayed Hall in Mombasa, where primary school heads across the nations will converge to address a host of pressing challenges in the education sector. Now, that is worth notice and that's worth reading. You grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more extensively to find out how primary school head teachers convene in Mombasa to address some of the challenges that they face in managing of the schools, as one of them being IFMIS, not really IFMIS but NEMIS, as part of the discussion that there is going to be held there today. Please grab a copy and read that. And also TBK, realizing the tea promise. Tea Board of Kenya is Thanksgiving conference for the tea industry to be held today on Monday from 10 a.m. at the Tea Board of Kenya. Please also get to that. Now, moving on to page 8, shift financial strain on providers. Now, survey of pivoted hospital survey shows reimbursement are insufficient to cover operations and payroll. Story by Matthew Ndungu and People Daily. Now, from the story, it shows that the providers want well-defined referral process and clarity on services covered by each facility level. Now, if you read the story, you'll find out that the shift from the defectant National Health Insurance NHIF to the new Social Health Insurance Fund has hit a private healthcare facility hard financially, cause of delay or lower than expected payment. Now, more than half of the facilities, 50.08%, have been receiving less than 100,000 from shift, according to survey by Rural and Urban Private Hospital Association conducted between October 28 and October 33. Now, it shows that the private hospital has been hit so much as the expected amount they're supposed to get is low, and also actually the patients have suffered because they have to get deep into their pockets and pay for some of those services. Now, on the same page, we have hospitals, patients unhappy with the public health insurance scheme. Story by Ruben Mwambingu and Noven Owiti. Now, shift rolled urgently without ensuring system was fully operational to guarantee access to care. And a month into the rollout of social health insurance fund shift, frustration is mounting among Kenyans and healthcare providers alike. Many are voicing concerns that the chaotic start has jeopardized lives, though the government has portrayed shift first month as success. A closer look, however, paints starkly different pictures. Now, you can also grab a copy and read that story on matters of health. Tunes of defiance rent the air in Mount Kenya. That is in page 9. The region that famously did a song and dance about waking up at the break of dawn to vote for Ruto now openly sing against his new government. Now, remember, story by Samuel Kariuki and People Daily. Now, you realize that when the elections, 2022 elections were being conducted and there were campaigns, the Mount Kenya region actually did sing a very happy song. saying the Ruto should be elected. And that happened. Unfortunately, we did see Rigathi Gachagua impeached and Kithure Kindiki comes in. Now, the swearing of Kithure Kindiki was not well received by some of the people from Mount Kenya region. You also realize that even though they were playing it cool by saying even after what happened, they have witnessed calm, but on Sunday, the vernacular song actually seems to be played more to say that was this really what we expected? You can grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read that story. After swearing in of Deputy President Kithure Kindiki on Friday, there was a hushed feeling of defiance in the area of Mount Kenya region, signaling their disappointment over ousting of former office holder Rigathi Gachagua. During the entire duration of Gachagua impeachment process, there was a revival in a region as old vernacular song, heavily with message, self-reflection, and calling for unity rent the air, but the climax was over the weekend. Grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read much more extensively on that. Religious heads decry abductions, call for state to combat the femicide. A story by Matthew Ndungu. A section of clerics has called on the government to take decisive action against criminal behind abductions and murder cases being witnessed in the country. And now you can read that. Led by Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches of Kenya, Secretary General Bishop David Tagana, the clerics insisted that no one has power to take away God-given lives. They called on the government to take immediate coordinated response to address systemic violence being meted on Kenyans, especially women. You can grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read on that. Now let us move to page 10, where we have quotes of the day. Kenya's economy remains resilient with growth above regional average, inflation decelerating, and external inflows supporting the shillings and build up of external buffers. That is IMF official Gita. Read that. And also we have another quote of the day. These statistics are frightening, and the government should immediately enact prevention actions and track down assailants to curb the worrying murder. That is Secretary General Bishop David Tagana. And also we have Kisumu Central MP Joshua Aaron says security of the people starts from the locals. We need to rebuild our community policing mechanism to combat the rising insecurity. That is part of the quote of the day, but also we have the cartoon of the day where we see the newly sworn in Deputy President Kithure Kindiki on a beam balance, and on the other side of the beam balance we have a tray and lessons to learn from previous Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Will he really balance on that beam? That's one for you to think about. And we also have a thought of the day, that is politics, a strife of interest masquerading as a contest of principles. Think of that. That's a thought of the day. You can also have to read feature stories which are there, and it will help. Clinics in fetal surgery case want closure order lifted. Omnicare seeks to reverse closure notice issued by KMPDU after an apparent botched surgery. Story by Alphonse Mungao. Now, Omnicare Medical has challenged in the High Court the decision by Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Council to close its facility over alleged death of patient at Nairobi Hospital. Now, if you read the story, you'll find out that the KMPDU actually gave a notice to closure of Omnicare as a result of death of a patient who undergone an operation but later died in Nairobi Hospital. However, the hospital management seeks to lift that closure notice to be lifted up by the court. They have moved to court to see how to go about that. You can read that and more and more and more. Now, on the same page 13, we have bailing hearing set for accused in fake Canadian visa. Story by Gidraf Mwangi. The mastermind behind fake Canadian visa application syndicate has been charged at Nairobi court with offense of obtaining money by false pretense. Now, Brian Reves Obare appeared before the Milimani Court magistrate after obtaining over 7.9 million from Lucas Onyina and Nancy Onjira Odungo. Now, you can also read that story to find out, and be very careful on people who say they can help you get opportunity to be outside the country through dubious means. Grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read about that. Now, moving on to page 11, how Lebanese town is trying to stay out of war. Volunteers workers come out in big numbers to offer assistance to injured affected residents. Remember the war that has been going on between the Israeli and the Lebanon. Now we have a community in Lebanon who does not want the war to continue, and they are out to find out that their safety is more important. Heightened fear over Israel bombardment. You can also read that story. It's on the same page, still on the same. Now let us move with speed. Dreadlock in Cali as nations fail to agree on funding. Countries debate through Friday night in Cali, Colombia, in bid to get COP16 agenda. You can also read that story. It is in page 16 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, countries did manage to find consensus on the new benefit sharing mechanism for genetic resource known as the STELI Fund after lengthy discussion and last-minute text changes putting forward Indian protective sovereign rights. You can also read that more and more. Now, moving on to Business Hub, Business Matters. NVIDIA will replace Intel in the Dow Jones Stock Index. You can also get that. Unit Trust assets surge by 13% on bigger returns. Market regular says CIS has been on steady growth trajectory, mostly driven by new scheme and competitive earnings. Story by Vanessa Sandra. You can grab a copy and read that. And also, maize production projected to reach 76 million bags this year. The country is likely to experience food surplus for the first time in many years compared to previous perennial shortages, which led to growth in import bill. Now, I believe that's a positive and encouraging to see that in this year we are going to experience surplus in agricultural production, especially maize production. You can grab a copy and read that. Hand for Bitcoins. Creator hits a crocodile sack again. You can also get into that for the lovers of Bitcoin. Cooperative Bank DTB led the tire opener peers in giving cheapest loan the report. Now, still by Cynthia Atuo. Grab a copy and read more extensively on that. I'll move very fast with speed to page 23. Lebanon to file UN complaints over abductions. Now that's on World Stories. Israel claims it carried out the operation against what it called senior Hezbollah operative. You can also read, according to the Lebanese media report, more than 25 heavily armed men landed at the beach in Boston, about 50 miles north of Beirut, and seized men before returning their speedboats and leaving the area. You can also read that and more and more and more and more. Harris and Trump hit North Carolina in final weekend. Now, fate of the election is expected to be determined by 7 battlegrounds being heavily coated. Now, story from the New York. Last week, full of controversy, brings end frantic race. Now, we wait to hear the outcome of the U.S. election. Trump laughs as supporters yell at rival. Kennedy Jr. says Trump will ask localities to remove fluorides. You can get a copy and read much of that. Now let us move to matters of sports. Now, People Daily Sports, we can see champions of South Rift, Chapitalal FC celebrate as they secure a converted place in national competition, walk home with $750,000 sponsorship deal. That is great for the team. That's great for the team. You can also grab a copy and read more of that. Akinyi powers Kenya to World Cup glory. Now, Kenyan junior starlets celebrate their first victory in the tournament thanks to defender exceptional display. Story by Vincent Vioya. You can also read much of that extensively. Now, Kimberly Akinyi is among the players who gave their all at the ongoing 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominica Republic. You can also get to that, as also we see Titans Kisii University says to retain crown in the new rollball season. Story by Emmanuel Rono is there. Now, moving on to page 29, Olunga register a milestone at Qatar outfit Al Duhail. Kenyan striker notched 21st goals to become all-time top scorer. You can also read that story by Dennis Mabuka. How Olunga has been in the forefront. Kenyan international Michael Olunga entered the history book after becoming the all-time leading goal scorer for Qatar Star League outfit Al Duhail. The 31-year-old former Gor Mahia striker achieved the feat on Friday after scoring the Red Knight dominant 6-2 victory against Al Shamal at Khwar Stadium. Now you can also grab a copy and read that. And also we see KTB, Kenya Tourist Board, reward Olympian Faith Kipyegon with a holiday treat. You also need to grab a copy and read that. Now, father-son duo rewriting NBA history. Now, this is a story. You can see the images and the stories of people who have played with their sons on the same page to write history. One is Bron James, and son Bronny James become teammates for the first time during the Lakers season opener last week. They cemented the legacy for their family in the NBA. Here's a look at other fathers and sons who have made sport history together. You can grab a copy and read much of that. Why Gor Mahia coach and players were held hostage by club supporters. Why Gor Mahia? Coach and players were held hostage by club supporters. Now, supporters spate of poor result forced supporters to demand answers from the technician. Remember, previously, Gor Mahia lost against Sofapaka, and we also did see Gor Mahia after first half win 2-0 in the Kenya Football Federation, that is in Machakos, as they played against Muranga. The Muranga came back and actually leveled 2-2. Now this angered the fans who are out to find out what happens. Now matters of elections of Football Kenya Federation, CAF partners to empower local trainers and goalkeepers. You can also grab a copy and read that. And as we see, UEFA to invest 140 billion in women's soccer for over 6 years. That is a plus. And we also see Nairobi City Stars stand Shabana at Gusii Stadium. Now yesterday Shabana lost 1-0 against Nairobi City Star. And remember, it's the same City Star who won against Gor Mahia. And we also see that is their second win in the Football Kenya Federation. Now we see Sheila conquers the world. Sheila conquers the world as Kenyan sweep podium finishes at Women's New York Marathon. Now we see Sheila outshining Obiri to win the New York City Marathon. That is what to go. And also we did see on the same time, we see Evans Chebet beaten to second position. Now that's part of what we had for you. Please grab a copy of People Daily newspaper and watch more extensively. Now before I sign out, remember, Nyamweya out of Football Kenya Federation race as board releases candidate list. Story by Emmanuel Ochieng. Former Football Kenya Federation FK President Sam Nyamweya is out of the race for the December 7th national football election after the electorate board released the final list of candidates for the presidential position, national executive committee members and women representatives, and the county officials. You can grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more comprehensively. Thank you so much for keeping tuned to BTV Kenya. That brings us to the end of the newspaper review this morning, Monday, the first Monday of the month of November. Remember, People Daily, remember BTV brings you what is happening on daily basis. After this program, we'll be having the Burudani Extra, and later in the evening we'll bring to you the news at 7. Please keep on watching BTV Kenya. At the same time, remember BTV Kenya has also we call them a branch that is called Blackman Graphics Digital, where we offer graphic design, we offer t-shirt printing, large format printing. We also do video and photography, that is on matters with events. We also do video coverage, that is full live video coverage. We also provide services such as printing, bulk, and also general printing is provided by the Blackman Graphics. We also provide services ranging from roll-up banner printing and all other services. We also do still video shoot, and we also do photography for those who need. Remember to keep tuned to BTV. You can reach all this by just reaching into us, that is BTV Kenya, and we'll give you a range of products that we offer. Remember, BTV is here for you, your home live television. Thank you so much for keeping tuned. I'm your host, Kagya Isaiah. God bless you. Have a wonderful Monday.